Thanks, Les. Hi, everyone. I'm Marco Materazzi. I work with Amy and Bernard at Emerge Law Group. I'm a corporate lawyer. I've done a lot of securities law work. I'll keep this brief. It's end of the afternoon, and I know you don't want to listen to a lawyer talking to you about securities laws. But I'm sure as you've heard many times before, I'll tell you again, when you take money in exchange for an interest in your company, in your business, you are partaking in a securities offering. Securities offering is very highly regulated, both the federal and the state level. The policy behind the regulations is pretty simple at its heart, just trying to protect investors, widows and orphans, against securities fraud, against people selling snake oil. So, if you don't comply with the securities laws, you can get into serious trouble. The most extreme, securities fraud is a crime, and you can go to jail for it. But even short of that, there are serious civil consequences. If you don't comply with the securities laws, you take money in exchange for equity in your business doesn't do as well as you thought it was, it fails. If you haven't complied with the securities laws, your investors can sue you for their money back. Another important potential consequence of not complying with securities laws is just as Les said, and I think he's right on the money about comments about thinking about not just your first fundraising, but going down the line. The further you get down the line, the more sophisticated your investors are, the more money you're taking in, the more scrutiny they're going to put on your business, including whether you complied with the securities laws previously. If you didn't, their lawyers are going to find that out, and it's going to be very difficult for you to raise money in the future or to sell your business. So, take it seriously. You really ought to hire a lawyer, a good lawyer with good securities law experience when you're doing this. There's a lot of lawyers in the cannabis industry. Not all of them are experienced business lawyers with experience complying with securities laws, so I really urge you to do that. But there's some rules of thumb that you should know about. One, don't advertise. You can't post on Craigslist or on Facebook or whatever that you're interested in raising money. If you do that, you're going to be most likely going to be in violation of securities laws right after that. Second, only take money from people who can afford to lose it all. Rich people, right? That's both from a compliance point of view to comply with the exemptions, but also just from a liability, risk liability point of view, and just a interpersonal point of view. You don't want to be taking money, whether it's from friends or family or from people you don't know, unless it doesn't matter to them if it goes away. Otherwise, your likelihood of getting sued and having problems, friends or family, goes through the roof. Last, two more things. One, who you take money from is often just as important, if not more important, as how much money you take. Right? So your investors are your partners going forward. If there's a huge personality clash, you don't like them, be really careful before you take their money, because they're going to be involved in your business going forward. So having that chemistry with your investors is important. And finally, be transparent. The securities regulations are all about disclosure. Okay, the test is, if a reasonable person would consider a piece of information important in their decision whether or not to invest in your company, then you need to tell it to them. Right? Hiding potential problems, terrible, terrible idea. Right? So that's why if you've ever seen or worked with a lawyer for a securities offering, there'll be documents with pages and pages and pages of risk factors talking about all the things that can go wrong. When you think about that in terms of the cannabis industry, you can add another 10 pages to it. Those are there as an insurance policy. If you've told somebody what a potential problem is, and then that problem ends up coming to fruition and destroying your business, you're protected. You can't get sued because they knew that when they made their decision. So be transparent. There's a lot more to the securities laws than that, but those are real, I think, important guideposts as you're planning, as you're thinking about investing, as you're working your networks. It's serious business, so take it seriously.